All right, wide receivers. Where are we going?
Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm going back to the well. Yeah, he was okay last week, but he wasn't great. But he has scored 19 plus points in 3 of his last 4, including 19.7 against this week's opponent, the Cardinals. They do not do well against the slot. And we know, as Lindsay likes to say, Jackson Smith and Jigba is slotty. So that means he runs inside routes a lot. You got to love the matchup with 6 teams on a bye. Arizona giving up the 6th most points per game to the slot. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a very good play. And how about Jakobi Meyers? You want to talk about an unsung hero? This guy is a target hog. 11 targets or more in 3 of his last 4 games. 13 plus fantasy points in all but 1 of his last 6, including 3 where he had more than 17. The Buccaneers have allowed the 6th most points to the perimeter. So Jakobi Meyers, he's not just a flex, Linz. He's like a solid wide receiver too this week.
Who are we thinking of putting on the bench?
Deebo, I had him on the list last week, did not have a good game. And I mean, 13.2 combined points in his last 3 games. He's also failed to score more than 12.6 in 5 straight. The Bears have allowed the 9th fewest points per game to the perimeter, and wide receivers have only scored 7 touchdowns against them. So Deebo is a fade, even though he might play a little bit more in terms of mixing things up with McCaffrey out, maybe get a few carries here and there. He's a really risky flex. And I say the same thing about DeAndre Hopkins. Now, he has scored 13 or more points in 2 straight games, so you probably got to play him. I understand that. But the Lightning Bolts have allowed just 86.5 receiving yards per game to the perimeter this season.